Cressida Stormvale inhaled her very first breath on a wind-still morning, 4 October 1999, inside a whitewashed cottage perched on driftwood stilts above the basalt tide pools of Depot Bay, Oregon. Outside, harbor seals barked at gulls squabbling over kelp knots, while her mother, a road-roaming Celtic blues fiddler who stores pressed fireweed petals between spare bow hairs, coaxed a hush of double stops that made mismatched teacups buds on the windowsill. Her father, a lighthouse electrician with a poet's pocket notebook, leaned so close their freckles blurred and told his newborn that dark gossip, narrow store racks, and cafeteria mockeries would always part for anyone willing to stand the size of her spirit. Curves bloom in the Stormvale bloodline, the way warm Japanese current fingers slide beneath the cold Pacific, so no one winced when baby Cressida split her second flannel swaddle before the tea kettle even sighed. Grandma Ollie threaded a salmon-lined needle under each tear, patched them with strips of a retired kite sail, then laughed that an extra handspan of cloth cost pennies while teaching a child to shrink can cost her whole horizon of sunrise. Grade school hallway smelled of cedar shavings, Marionberry cobbler steam sneaking from the cafeteria door, and salt wind pushing through tilted sash windows. Cressida already rose a shoulder above her classmates, blotting the overhead projector beam whenever she mapped gray wheel routes on the pull-down chart. One misty recess, two boys hop-skipped rings around her, chanting tugboat each time her rubber boots thudded on chalk square. At twilight, she walked the storm line, gathering soda caps polished satin by surf, threaded them on nylon, stitched the rattling chain down her seafoam hoodie, and breezed into class at dawn scattering rainbow freckles across ceiling tiles. A student teacher filmed 7 shaky seconds on a prepaid flip phone, posted the shimmer to a fledgling video corner, and by lunch, 15,000 strangers applauded the girl who forged teasing into Lighthouse Flat. That night, Cressida wrote a promise in violet gel beside subtraction drills. Clouds crowd only until you flash them bright. Saturday mornings belonged to the harbor jetty, where her mother's fiddle runs tangled with diesel groans from whale-watch boats, fry basket hisses, and gulls begging for herring tails. Store jeans stalled at Cressida's thighs, so she swapped tip jar quarters for sun-bleached gill net, unraveled it into rope, crocheted high-waist culottes, misted puffin silhouettes in squid ink, then posed at persimmon sunset beside rust-flecked bollards, while her cousin clicked rainy photos. She dropped every frame into an online diary named Lantern Current. During the same week, a bright photo app flickered across patchy coastal towers. Captions hopped between tide pool slang and clear truths, like curves anchor gale gusts steadier than seawalls. Before 15 candles melted, she counted 51,000. Unseen friends double-tapping every tangerine post, proof glowing rectangles, hush hallway, whispers faster than any hall monitor call. High school summers meant deckhand shifts on a charter dory. Cressida baited crab pots at dawn, traded tip money for tattered sailcloth, turned it into bias-cut wrap tops, then camped above sea foam for sunrise photo shoots. One clip, tying anchor rope into makeshift corset laces, while reciting a haiku about waterproof confidence, hit 800,000 plays in 2 days. Local-style blogs crowned her the Jetty Couturier, yet every brand outreach stopped at size 16. She archived each pitch in a folder labeled Shrinking Nets, rinsed bait brine from her wrists, and flipped the next pot. A coastal engineering scholarship ferried her inland to Oregon State. Daylight dissolved inside Wave Energy Labs. Nights belonged to a 24-hour chowder band, glowing neon lemon beneath Sitka spruce. The heat lamp became her softbox. Between clam orders, she filmed 90-second reels, folding wax paper into wild rose barrettes, while decoding dart rotation in half lecture sparkle, half surf hush. One upload layered sea lion barks over a lo-fi shuffle washy chain stitched reflective crap pot cord into thrift denim. 47 hours later, plays sailed past 1.3 million. Pacific Northwest magazines hailed her the Chowder Couturier, though brand decks still topped out at 14. She answered them with a grin and another bold pour. Storm Warren Week delivered an email from Columbia Sportswear. They wanted her to co-design a spray shell capsule named Borealis Pulse. She answered with 3 pure solid terms, patterns through 60-inch hips, half the creative crew hired directly from community college sewing programs, and 10% of net profit channeled to fund mental health teletherapy for seasonal fishers along the Oregon coast. Columbia said yes before dawn lit the Beakers' quarrel. The chute opened on a hidden basalt shelf where newly fledged merge chicks hop-tested their wings. Cressida guided curvy paddleboarders across glass ripples, while a drone traced quiet infinity shapes overhead. When the lookbook landed, every extended-size jacket vanished in 41 hours across 27 nations, and Lantern Current tipped past 700,000 Lantern avatars. Still powdered in sugar from a graveyard cruller sprint, she bounced her phone atop a flower tub, ducked behind vinegar drums, and live-streamed tear-bright thanks beneath buzzing fluorescence. Our shoreline request glides in like kelp ribbon. If this story already sings in your chest, tap subscribe right now so the next adventure sails straight into your queue before algorithm winds shift. One gentle press is all it takes. Spotlight shimmer lured rumor girls. A clickbait vlog claimed Cressida tightened steel plates round her waist between takes. At sunrise, she paddled a cedar board past sea palm tufts, stood strong in sports bra and flannel shorts, traced every stretch line with crushed bougainvillea dust, and laid a fiddle groove so raw the ocean hushed. 10 million viewers reposted the proof, brushing fuchsia pollen across their own curves until gossip settled like fog. Chowder cart wages braided with capsule royalties and whipped into Star Bay butter, a whipped custard swirling spruce tip cream, lime peel oil, and mica sparks glowing pearl and foam flash. 19,000 tins cooled on her father's chart desk, lids tied with braided crab trap rope, each tag stamped "Moisturize your horizon." Stock vanished in 82 minutes, raising $197,000. 20% seeded Beacon Grant shipping industrial surgers and high phones to plus-size teens and shoreline schools from Brookings to Bel-Am. 8 months later, 36 grantees floated an oceanside fashion and whale song gala aboard a retro trawler, draped in solar fairy lights, beaming dawn joy to classrooms from Kingston to Nairobi. Portland Fashion Week minted new Jeddah legend when a backstage fan shredded her sapphire mesh gown from hip to shin 80 heartbeats before runway. Cressida ripped neon dock line off a rigged brace, laced the gash like hiking hooks, and strode as if that spice had breathed in the first sketch. Camera shutters cracked like kettle corn. Vogue Cascadia dubbed it Rope Cadence Rescue, and another million lantern lights sparked before violins lifted the after-party roof. Trouble tried once more when a former media handler leaked parts of an email thread hinting she demanded Dungeness Towers and chauffeured Zodiacs for her rescued cormorant Orbit. She posted the full exchange: refillable water urns, lentil stew for crew, caption tablets for deaf stylists. That month's affiliate wave, $136,000, funded biodegradable crab trap pilots off Cape Arago. Fans repeated, her peer mantra receipts glow brighter than rumor grit until whispers died like a spent tide. 5 midsummer metrics shimmered teal. 6.9 million Instagram companions, 3.4 million real travelers, 2 million steady channel subscribers, engagement floating near 10% and giving brand executives vertigo. Cartier invited her to headline Topaz Surge in the Century lens at Hachette Ahead. She agreed after Cartier funded therapy stipends for deckhands recovering from rogue waves. The final reel, her wrist scattering amber shards across iron ribs, stands as Cartier's most saved post this year. Family ruins weariness. Twice each month, she streams Porchline Groove. Mom slides funky 10th chords under a propane skillet. Dad recites cloud haiku. And Cressida flips thrift denim while Orbit toddles through cornmeal dust. One episode hit 9 million when the bird sneezed cinnamon glitter on camera. A wildlife refuge now sponsors a series, tagging rehabilitated cormorants with solar beacons bankrolled by Starbay Butter. Butter revenue glided past 12 million before a second autumn. She leased a silent hatchery shed, carved skylights through corrugated tin, and hired furloughed deckhands, plus design grads to whip custard and tie lids by hand during midday fiddle house sets. Logistics consultants begged for shrink bands. She quoted Granny Ollie, "Fingertips shell stories longer than plastic, and rope ties stayed." Her feed shares mind weather honesty. Basalt bluff portraits nest beside chowder vein selfies captioned "Same sky, different tide." She uploads breath loops recorded in sea caves, printable resilience pages in English and Chinook jargon, and sliding scale therapy coupons. 133,000 readers say her shoreline candor is their first calm harbor. Community rides sparkle under crushed shell paint. Hundreds pedal sunset causeways wearing Starbay butter on collarbones and LED kelp tassels on spokes. Ticket sales fatten beacon grants and bankroll wheelchair snorkel lifts at spring vents. Chowder Shack's Ladle Lake clam chow bowls jump 15% on ride nights. Cressida rolls late on a vintage cruiser with Orbit plush bungeed front, pausing to lace any rider's trailing seeker. A memoir titled Currents Keep Names is set for release next spring in 11 languages, while a documentary crew records her plan to convert retired navigation buoys into floating maker labs for island schools. Puma's White to a Wave lantern sneaker launches next quarter, threaded with reflective rope and cushioned by algae foam, channeling 10% of revenue into beacon seedlings hugging the Pacific Rim. Document-friendly nudge slides across the surf. If your subscribe badge still burns red, cool it stone gray now. One soft tap keeps the coming tide flowing into your notifications ahead of any algorithm undertow. Like edges towards slack water. The description holds fresh Starbay butter jars, express beacon grant links, tonight's Porchline playlist, and a discreet compass, a research-rooted kit of conversation sparks and calm confidence drills, mapping the surest path toward lasting love in the most reliable way to spark genuine intrigue in any woman you meet. No gate, no cost, one click. Estes soda cap, spine glitter, rope cadence, gown rescue, or orbit glitter, sneeze stirred even half a smile. Smash like, shout your brightest ripple in comments, and share this voyage with a friend whose sails hang slack. Every curve redirects currents, every scar refracts moonlight, and the Pacific bows to anyone ready to plant two boots on the pier and greet tomorrow eyes wide. For Soft Whisper Drifts, subscribe this second, claim your rail, tap that love link below, and meet me on the next rising tide when a fresh story flickers beyond the breakers and courage calls your name anew.